So, welcome everyone to today's Connections Over Coffee gathering with the On Purpose Woman Global Community. I'm so glad to have spent this amazing time with women who are at the meeting today and the inspiring question that was shared by Beth Shekinah Terrence for us to ponder before coming on. And for those of you who are watching this on our YouTube channel, welcome. Thank you for being here. I am Andrea Hyland. I'm founder of the Incubator, an online co-working space for women creatives. And as a member of On Purpose Woman Global Community, I was asked to step into the role of host today for Ginny Robertson. So that is why I am here. And I'm thrilled to have Beth Shekinah Terrence as our speaker. I said to Beth, hey, I'm the host of the meeting. Would you come and speak? And she has this amazing topic called From Limits to Limitlessness, Becoming an Inner Alchemist to Unlock Your Potential. And I'm going to introduce her in a different way today. First, I'm going to give you just a description of her bio and her professional background. And then I'm going to invite you to just come on a journey into this topic. So, the first part, for over 30 years, Beth Shekinah Terrence has been supporting others on the path of transformation, healing, and integration. She is a shamanic wisdom guide, transformational facilitator, and holistic recovery coach. Beth Shekinah has trained extensively, holding certifications in many holistic and alternative modalities, which she weaves together to offer an integrative approach to life, well-being, and resilience. Additionally, she holds an MS degree in restorative practices. She is passionate about helping others to deepen connection, cultivate compassion, and experience awakening. And in the show page, we have a link to her website, bethshekinah.com. And I really encourage you to go over there and just check out all the different offerings that she has. All right, so it's time to sink into this topic. Here's the description on the page. Knowing others is the key to transformation, healing, and self-empowerment. Being willing to recognize and understand our limitations, such as self-doubt and feelings of inadequacy, opens the doorway to accessing the courage and self-confidence needed to thrive in all aspects of our lives, relationships, and business. Our natural human tendency is to want to avoid or look away from where we feel pain or limitation. But it is in opening our hearts to all aspects of ourselves that we become able to transform and embody our full potential. Learning to be still, to go within, and to face what Carl Jung called the shadow is an essential part of the journey of becoming our full and authentic selves. The ancient alchemists were known for transforming lead into gold. We all have the innate capacity within to transform our limiting patterns, feelings, and beliefs into our greatest strengths. So, shamanic transformation facilitator Beth Shekinah Terrence is going to share an experiential exploration to learn how you can become an inner alchemist to expand your potential and awaken your soul purpose in all aspects of life, relationships, and business. I'll turn it over to
you. I feel like you've given the presentation. I don't know.
Well, there was such an energy in your description that I wanted to take the time to really acknowledge it. So I turn
Well, no,
it
we
over
will.
to you.
That leaves room for more experiential. So Let's see, I just want to make sure we're in the slide. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Um, so happy to be here with you all and in this beautiful community that I've been a part of in and out for actually going on 20 years this year. And so our topic today is from limits to limitlessness, becoming an inner alchemist to unlock your potential. And it's a topic that's near and dear to my heart as a shamanic practitioner and spiritual healer. And I will be, sharing a little bit of concepts and ideas, and then leading an experiential practice because I feel like uh, in probably everything in life, but in this type of topic, it's having that experience where really the alchemy or the magic happens. So. Get there we go. Okay. Just a little overview. Welcome everyone. It was great to connect with some individually, and also happy to see so many familiar faces who I've known for many years here as well as new ones. We'll explore just three topics as we go through our time exploring inner transformation. We'll examine some tools for unlocking your potential and then engaging in an alchemical exploration and bending time so that we can do it all. So I noticed in the description that Andrea read, it talked about knowing others, and I guess there was a typo somewhere. So really, the anchor for this is the power of knowing ourselves, and viewing that as the key to healing and self-empowerment. And uh, our natural human tendency is to really avoid pain or discomfort, to push it away, to want to override it. And so, big part of knowing ourselves is just being open to really embracing all parts of ourselves. And that's where transformation and healing can really begin and continue to happen. So, we're going to do an exploration today, but just having that as an anchor, as a foundation is the key to this idea of unlocking our limitless potential. And so I'm just going to invite you to take a moment. If you'd like to, you can close your eyes and just place a hand on your heart. Just take a few deeper breaths there, almost as if there's a nose right in the center of your chest. Just slowing down. We'll talk about that idea of slowing down, of becoming still. If you notice your breath is faster, you can slow it down a little bit, extending the out breath and really feeling yourself in this moment opening from within. There's nowhere to go to get to know yourself, to your heart. It's that opening from within. And allowing the emanating fields of your greater nature to come to you and flow through you in this moment. And just asking, what does your heart wish you to know in this moment? What does your heart wish you to know? And just be open to a word, an image, feeling. And let that be your anchor for this time and for this day, for what brought you here. When you feel ready, if your eyes are closed, you can open them and come back. And I just like to share that very simple practice to say it can be that simple, because we get caught up in the busyness of our lives and the world and all of our lists and things and actions we need to take. And that's one very simple action that can bring us back to ourselves in just a moment. So I want to further talk about this idea of avoidance versus embrace. Again, our natural human tendency is often to push away what's uncomfortable, to fight the feelings or things that cause us pain or discomfort. And Carl Jung shared this wonderful quote. He said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." And that's not to negate the importance of connecting with light energies and and spirits and angelic realms, but to know all parts of ourselves, because it's often within those shadow parts, which we'll explore a little bit more, where we really find our gifts and our strengths. So, if we think about this idea of fighting, conquering, or avoiding, it rarely works. Uh, Maybe in the movies we see slaying the dragons or in mythology, but it can actually be what limits our potential rather than opens it. And so, think about your own life and just times where you feel like you've gone through different periods where you've attended to a challenge or an issue and you feel like, that's it, I'm done there. I'm not going to have to work on that anymore. Smooth sailing. And then, a period of time comes, and then that same issue, whether it's a relationship issue or a work issue or finance issue, arises again. And I know, and from my own healing journey and my work supporting others, that can be one of the greatest challenges because we want to move forward, right? It's again part of human nature. We want to move forward, ahead, up, and above. And so when we find ourselves in what seemingly is the same place we've been before, um, it can be even more painful and more challenging. So just to really think about that idea of rather than fighting, perhaps embracing or feeding our shadow with compassion as the medicine or the gateway to infinite possibilities. And I know a lot of folks are familiar with the shadow. I just wanted to say a little bit more about that in and of itself. The shadow is defined as the parts of ourselves we don't want to see or acknowledge. It can include feelings, patterns, and beliefs that are painful, uncomfortable, and keep us stuck. And so, again, we're all human. And I like to say, that we all have these different aspects that are just part of our personal journey or through our life experiences, perhaps our ancestral lineage and what we're carrying in the greater field, and then the collective. And so having that tendency to avoid or not want to look is it has the illusion that it can bring us peace and comfort. But it's actually when we are willing to look in those places and spaces where we find our inner strength, our innate gifts and capacities that are what can allow us to really embody our full potential and live it, more confidently, but um, more energized as well. So it's just to keep that idea again of I like one of my teachers for a practice I do called feeding your demons, which I wish we had time to do today, but it takes more than this little window. Um, it really talks about this idea of feeding, not fighting. And it comes, the feeding your demons process is a secular practice that originates from a very traditional Buddhist practice called Chud, which is meaning severance. And the originator of that teaching and practice was a legendary yogini from the 11th and 12th century, Ma Chiglavdram. And there's a story that when she was going through a certain training and empowerment in the Buddhist lineage, which amazingly, she was a very it was very rare for a woman to be a teacher and in her position at that time. But she carried something that really opened the door for compassion. And so, what happened was in this teaching and practice, she felt herself being transformed, I'm sorry, transported from where she was into this tree by a lake. And this lake was known as a place where there were terrifying spirits or monsters. People didn't even want to walk by this lake because it could be so terrifying and threatening. And so as she sat there in the tree, all of a sudden, like this like flurry of like they call them nagas, the snake spirits came and were threatening her and like, why are you here? And we really wanting to get rid of her. And so, again, her natural human tendency started to rise of wanting to fight them or push them away. And something inside her in that moment, in her anchor or root in compassion, shifted. And she said, I'm just going to offer love and compassion to them and embrace them in this energy of love and compassion. And suddenly the all this army of snakes, of nagas, just became very calm and still, and in a sense bowed down to her and became her students and her followers and protectors instead. And so it was really a big teaching for her, and then led to this whole practice and lineage of compassion practice. So just to think about it in that way. And so again, a simple way might be to say feeding, not fighting, embracing, not pushing. So, so alchemists, and many tales about ancient alchemists would turn lead into gold, or something again dark into light. And so when we think of this idea of inner alchemy, it's more about turning our limitations, or I want to say, perceived limitations into strengths and gifts, because we already have that strength, that light within us. And if we think about that idea of the shadow, often that's just preventing us from really seeing or accessing those gifts and strengths that are there. So inner alchemy helps us to really transmute and reawaken all of that inner strength, guidance, wisdom that's within us. And uh, there's many different ways and practices that can support that. Cultivating stillness is, I believe, what opens the doorway to knowing ourselves deeply and leading us into a place where we can access that, I'll say, inner fire of transmutation. And a part of knowing ourselves is recognizing and embracing the limitations, the shadow parts, so that looking at our feelings, patterns, beliefs that we're carrying. Some of that's excavation, right? Journaling, meditating, reflecting, and then embracing it with compassion, so that we can really access those gifts within ourselves and our potential. So um, that journey of inner alchemy, we can relate it to any aspect of our life, our relationships, our business, our career, our work, our self-expression, or creativity. It's an ongoing journey. And again, I can't tell you how many times I really will say, embrace it with compassion and courage. It takes courage. Um, my teacher, my root shamanic teacher, Ross Bishop, who actually was the person who introduced me to Ginny Robertson 20 years ago, in 2005, when I lived in Frederick, where Julie lives. He said, you need to meet her, and there's this great community. And that's kind of an aside. But he would always say, I'd really rather, when there was a challenge or something coming up, that was causing pain or discomfort, I'd really rather that you attend to this now, because if you don't, it's just going to come back, and it's going to come back stronger. And and actually, in some of my other work with spiritual healing, one of the teachings is that whatever we put out, whether it's particularly can think of it in terms of negative thoughts or feelings, are going to come back sevenfold. That can be with positive things of love and compassion. So, but what we're not attending to can become bigger and stronger and kind of rear its head up, just like that dragon. So the biggest thing I think to remember is that you are the guide, that the process is there within you, but you can be own inner alchemist, you can guide this process for yourself. And sometimes support's needed, connection, community, learning, or developing your skills or different practices. But it's probably things you already have in your toolbox as well for many folks. Um, so I wanted to lead a practice. And Andrew, can you just give me a sense of time? I'm sorry, I think I lost my clock when I put the slide on.
Yeah, I mean it's five minutes the top of the hour, but take what you need. We're here with
Okay,
you. And for anyone who can't stay to drop off and the recording, we'll have this.
thank you. Okay. So I think I just want to go into a practice that I think is an example of a self-compassion practice that can really support this process of inner alchemy. And for anybody who wants to stay after, then we can kind of wrap things up and if there's any questions. So I just say now, then I thank all of you who are here for being here, and there will be the recording. So I'm going to invite you once again to find a comfortable position. If you're sitting on your chair, you can have your feet on the floor. You're also welcome to sit on the floor or even lie down for this process if you want. It won't take that long, but make yourself comfortable. That's part of self-compassion. And then when you're ready, you can gently close your eyes and just begin by taking a few deeper breaths, perhaps breathing in for a count of 4 or 5 or out for a count of 4 or 5. Just letting your body and your mind begin to slow down, to unwind. And as you settle into this moment, just really feeling that natural rhythm of your breath. And now I'm going to invite you to think of something that you might be struggling with today or this week. Perhaps a situation or something that's brought up some difficult feelings for you. Or even something when you had that conversation about the crossroads or endings and beginnings that you feel is maybe causing you some discomfort or pain. And just really trust whatever comes in this moment. You can work on other things at other times. And that's a part of self-knowing, just trusting when you ask what it is that needs attention now, that you listen. So as you see or feel that situation or challenge, perhaps in your life, your business, or relationship, just begin to focus your awareness on it. If it's helpful, you can actually kind of replay it in your mind for your awareness. And begin to notice the feelings that come up. Any feelings that come up as you tune into this experience or situation. And as you feel the feelings, explore a little bit of where they're held within your body. And also begin to notice the energy of the feelings, perhaps the vibrational quality of those feelings, beyond any attachment to what you might call them or name them. Really feel the energy or the vibration. And notice if you're willing to stay with the feeling and to allow it to be just as it is. even if your nature may be to avoid it or turn away. In this moment, choose to be present with it. And most importantly, without needing to change or shift it, just ask yourself or notice, what is your willingness to stay with this feeling or feelings? Open as much as you can to allowing them to be just the way they are. And as you stay present with the feeling, now begin to open to the idea of feeling love and compassion for the feeling. You might ask yourself if you're willing to open to that feeling with love and compassion, knowing that it's arisen for a reason, that it's there for some reason, that there's something for you to look at within yourself. Be willing to receive support in feeling love for this feeling. Just allowing that love and compassion to bubble up from deep within the center of your heart, that well of love and compassion that resides within you. Allow it to begin and hold and embrace this feelings, and wherever they may be in your body or your being. And ask yourself if you're willing to accept the purposefulness of this situation or experience in your life that stirred these feelings, even if you don't understand what the purpose is at that time. Are you willing to let go of any judgment or interpretations of the situation or these feelings, or even the idea that they may be bad or wrong or unwelcome? And now be willing to let go of any judgment of the situation, including all of your feelings and judgment of yourself for having the feelings. And if you need to, embrace any judgment in love and compassion. Just let it bubble up through the center of your heart, the heart of your heart, to embrace any judgment. And if there's someone else or others involved that have caused you to have this experience that are related to these feelings arising, perhaps bringing them to your conscious awareness, can you accept that you attracted them in some way to support you in reclaiming your power and accessing your unlimited potential? Continue to connect with yourself more deeply, embracing all that's arising in love and compassion, breathing in the breath of love, and seeing now and feeling now the perfection that all of this is just the way it is the way it needs to be. Even if you're unsure, say, I now see and feel the perfection of what this is, just the way it is. I hold it in love and compassion as I embrace all of me. And now take a few moments to really open even more. Allow yourself to feel the full essence of your being, the full essence of who you truly are, a loving essence. And if it's helpful, you can place a hand on your heart or just connect to the energy of your heart. Really allowing yourself now to feel your whole body, mind, emotion, and spirit as this loving essence. Breathing in love and compassion from within as it flows into every atom and cell of your being. Breathing it out so it surrounds and envelops you. All of it emanating from your own heart essence and the emanating fields of your own greater nature. Really feel that energy and vibration of your essence, your loving essence. And as you allow your heart to open from within, letting that feeling of love expand deeper and deeper, letting it embrace all of your feelings, all that you were feeling, and all that was connected to the situation or experience you began working with. It may have already transmuted, but if there's any residue of these feelings or any others involved, you can include them now in surrounding and enveloping them in this fountain of love and compassion. And most importantly, the most potent medicine of all, embracing yourself. Really allow yourself to feel enveloped and embraced in love and compassion. And as you feel that love for yourself and feel yourself feeling all of this love, honor yourself for taking this time to create a container and deepen that container of love and compassion within you, embracing all of you. There's power contained in this love, and that's your power, your limitless potential. This inner sanctum is there within you in each and every moment. You can come to it at any time. And just take a moment now to ask if there is a gift or any medicine for you to bring back with you through this process, this inner alchemical process. It may come as a word or an image, quality. It may come later. Just let it bubble up from deep within the center of your heart, the heart of your heart. knowing you're receiving it, whether it takes form or no conscious form in this moment. This is your power. So celebrate this love and the essence of who you are, knowing you can connect with it in each moment. And taking your own timing, you may wish to take a few deeper breaths, move your hands and feet a little bit. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and come back. I know everybody comes back a little bit at their own pace, so just take your timing. Um, I know we're a little over on time, so I will just say a few things as folks are coming back. I just want to highlight this one last point here: gathering the gold from within and awakening your inner strength and potential. That is an innate capacity that you have, and so just to cultivate that and with different practices. And I found compassion practices to be a gateway for that. So. Um, Get the last slide to go. So I just highlighted here some different practices that you might want to explore, you're already exploring. And also just to ask from that place of center, ask for the guidance for how to cultivate that in your own life, your relationships, your work, and your business. So I thank you all for exploring with me today. I did share some information in the chat, and I have one upcoming program I'll also share about in the Facebook group. Thank you, and thanks to Jenny for creating this space, and for Andrea for inviting me today, and for all of you who are here or watching in virtual sacred space.
Mm. Thank you, Beth, and thank you for offering us that practice today. And let's all just take a moment to show Beth some love. And if you want to unmute yourself, and we like to say, woohoo! Thank
Yeah,
you,
that
thank
was
you,
great.
thank you. That was so
We can implement.
fantastic. And I'll just complete the record on the recording here, a closing, and then we'll have time if anyone wants to stay. I know we're over the time, but if you want to stay for some questions or sharing. But Beth, thanks so much for sharing your wisdom and your heart with us today. And
Yeah.
to everyone who is listening on the YouTube, thank you for being a part of this vibrant, supportive, and purpose-filled community. If you'd like to learn more about how to get involved in our Zoom or in-person gatherings or explore On Purpose Woman magazine, just head over to opwgc.com, and that's in the show page link here. So the show page description. So we'd love to connect with you again soon. And until next time, stay connected, be yourself, and live on purpose. Thank you, Beth. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. I've lost the, here we go. Bye, everyone.